Hi, I'm Bonnie Lynn Linke, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome to my studio. You see on your screen right now the two stamp sets we're using today, but before we get to that, a couple things to go over with you. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, and I love comments, and I do answer the comments within a couple days. So I would just love to hear from you. Also, right now, it is the end of November, and the last chance sale is going on. There are products anywhere from 10 to 60% off from the September to December mini catalog. So it's the time to get them. And even most of the items that are not marked down are limited to stock on hand. Everything goes away at the end of business on January 3rd. So hurry and get these items. And some items are already sold out. The star trinkets are sold out, and the Old Holy Night Designer Series paper is gone. And I love that paper. I should have probably bought me 5 or 10 extra packs of it. I like it that much. And so if there's something you want, please get it before it's gone, or you'll be sorry. You'll regret it. Until next year's catalog, that is. Okay, enough of that. Okay, so we are using the Joy of Noel stamp set today, along with the Christmas classics. Oh dear, out of the Christmas classics, I forgot to grab the dies because we need those. So I'm just gonna step over here to my dies and grab that real quick. Okay. Yeah, you know, so I look at this. Maybe we don't use the Christmas classics. I was thinking that the Noel was in the Christmas classics, but it's not. They are in the Joy of Noel stamp set. So, okay, so the only thing we're using out of the Christmas classics then is the stamp set. We are not using the dies, so excuse my little mistake on that one. I apologize. I should be better than that. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way then. Just set it off to the side. Okay, so you want to see the card, don't you? We are doing a tri-fold shutter card. So here's the card. And I wanted the Noel to be shiny, and I didn't want gold. So I used the Granny Apple Green. And the Granny Apple Green actually goes along with it. But since I made this card, I've changed the Old Olive Stampin' Blends to use Granny Apple Greens. And so you'll like that better. And then you open it up, and there you go. Just like that. Isn't that pretty? And this is what the top looks like. As you can see, it's it looks like a complicated fold, doesn't it? If you look at that, it looks real complicated, but it really isn't. So I am going to show you how to make that. But first, what we're going to do, we are going to do our coloring with the Stampin' Blends. So let's get the coloring out of the way. I've already stamped my image. So what I did out of the Joy of Noel, I call it the Holly and Berry stamp. It's the more detailed one. This one right here, which is this one. So we stamped that 2 times in black memento ink, and what you get is this. And I did it on the basic white cardstock. So I already did the stamping. I like to let, and the reason why I did it already is because I like to let my memento ink set for at least 10 minutes or so before I color on it. That's just me. And even if I print something out on the computer to color, I let that usually sit longer for the ink to dry. I wasn't sure what I was going to use on the card, so I had colored one of these too. I know it would look pretty if you stamped it in like the shaded spruce, but I don't like using my alcohol inks on anything except memento inks. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, there is an exception because on the envelope, I did stamp this in shaded spruce so you can see it. And it looks very pretty. And so if you want to do that for your card, you can. I didn't do any blending on my stamp, on my envelope. I just used one shade of Granny Apple Green, one shade of the shaded spruce, and one of the, I think I used either the light cherry cobbler or the dark real red, probably the light cherry cobbler for that. And so I want it to have as minimal of a contact with the ink, the stamped ink, as possible for my alcohol ink. So that's why I did it that way. So we're gonna go ahead and color this, and we gotta, let's see, I have an envelope I already stamped, so it's good and dry, and that's good because it's not black memento. Or if you have a green memento, you can use that too. So I'm gonna just show you a little bit how I colored this. So I'll start with the envelope first. And I had put my dark real red away. Nothing like being organized, is there? Whoops, that's my cherry cobbler I put away. Okay, let me see if that's light cherry cobbler. Okay, and dark real red. Okay, I think I decided not to use the dark cherry cobbler, and that's why I put it away. So what I'm using is the light cherry cobbler and the dark real red, but we're gonna do our reds last. So I just took my light shaded spruce, and the one, I don't know, it's the bigger leaves. They're kind of like a holly leaf, and that's the ones I colored first. So I had that one up there. I got this one right here. Just throw some ink in there. Just like so. And get this last one over here too. Okay, and there's a little one right over here too. Okay, so I got those. Now I'm gonna take my light Granny Apple Green, and I'm gonna do these other leaves. I like doing red last. The person that taught me how to color with Copics, her feeling was always to use red last, because that way you have your other colors down and you'll avoid them with the red. But this isn't an image where the red is really coming in contact with these colors, so I don't know that it would really matter in that case. And you'll notice, because I've already did some coloring, so I didn't have to color both images for you, that I put the Granny Apple Green right there. I thought that was maybe a little leaf between the berry and the holly. It was late, and I regretted doing it, but I had already done it. So that's that. Okay, and then I am going to use, I think I'm going to use the dark red over the light cherry cobbler. So I'm just going to just put a little bit in there. Get all those little berries. Oh, I forgot to tell you the most important part for your envelope when coloring. Luckily, it didn't come through. I take a piece of scrap paper. Here's one of my little the pad papers, and I always put it down inside behind the image I'm coloring, so it doesn't go through to the back side. And luckily, I'm not pressing very hard or putting a lot of ink down where it would go through. So that's something I always do, and I forgot to tell you that, so I apologize. But yes, a scratch piece of paper inside the envelope underneath where you're coloring to keep it from going through to the back side. Okay, so envelope is colored. So now we're gonna do this. And we are gonna start with the dark shaded spruce. And what I do is I take it and I go over these dark lines some inside here. And I'm gonna go a little bit heavier over to one side of it, just kind of like a shading, because I want that side darker. I leave a tiny little bit of room for a little bit of the light color to get in there. And just a little line in there, okay. And then I'm gonna take my light shaded spruce and I'm gonna finish coloring it, and I'm gonna go over top my dark, because that's what's gonna blend it. My eyes aren't focusing real good, so if I go out of the lines or anything, I apologize. My light's pretty good in here. That's just my eyes are off. I don't know if any of you get bad headaches. I get a lot of them. And yesterday I had a really bad one, and I noticed when I opened my husband opened the blinds this morning, it was like, oh no. When he was out of the room, I closed them again. It was just too much for my eyes and my head. It's so bright. It is cold and bright outside. Okay, now I'm gonna take my dark granny apple green, and I'm just gonna go and do part of 1/2 of my leaf, and I'm consistent on which side I do it. Just go. On some of them I try to leave a line so that a little bit of the light granny apple green will get into it. Doesn't always work that way though. Okay, and I'll grab my light. And I'm using the brush tip. Just so you know, that's usually what I use when I color. And just go on and fill it in with the ink. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so, whoops, I missed a leaf. Okay, so the leaves are all done. So now what I do is I take my light cherry cobbler, because it is darker than my real red, at least I think it is. And I try not to put a very big dot of it in there, but I'm gonna see something. I'm curious now. I put a dark, doesn't look like there's much difference, but I believe that this is darker. Yeah, it is. So I just put a light dot in each one. Or else you can just do them all one color. It doesn't matter. And I take my dark red and I color over it. I better be careful, because if you want to try and erase with your eraser blend, which for me, I use a Copic, and it's this one here. It's just the alcohol solution with no dye in it to push the color back. Red doesn't push back. So you need to be careful with your reds. And I didn't get that one. Okay, so it's all colored. Now we cut it out. And by the magic of being prepared, I have 2 of them that are cut out. And this is what I meant that I colored in, thinking that was a leaf right there. You know, it could be one that's behind that holly leaf, but so it doesn't look bad. Oh, and you know, I didn't color all of that one leaf there, so I'm gonna grab my pen and color that in there. Okay. So there we go. We got that all colored. And while we're coloring, because I'm using the rhinestone basic jewels, I'm gonna get these out somehow, maybe. You know, some days things just don't work as they should. Okay, now I'm gonna take my dark red. I'm gonna do one of the medium size and I'm gonna color it. And then I'm gonna do two of the small ones. And I'm taking ones that are really shiny looking, because I have some that are kind of a duller color that don't have the real shiny look to it. So I'm coloring these right now, and that's going to give them plenty of time to dry. And that's how you get a different color rhinestone. You just color it with your Stampin' Blends or whatever type of alcohol inks you have. So we'll set that up here for this to dry. And we will set these aside. Now it's time to show you how to make the card base. And that is easy. It really is. I did mess up on my first one. I will be honest about that. But you know, and I think I have it in, yeah, I have it in the other room. I now have one for my sample base, so that next time I go to make it, I'll just pull out my prototype. It's just a white cardstock, and it has all the measurements written on it. And that's how I know what to do. Okay, so it is on the 2-inch score that you just want to score from the top down 1.5 inches. Just like that. Then you want to go down and you want to score, because this is 5.5 inches long. Oh, whoops. I didn't cut this. Okay, your size is supposed to be 12 inches by 5.5, and mine was still 6. Or actually, it was 6.5, so okay. So now I have the right size paper. You want it to be 5.5 by 6 inches, and that's what mine is. Okay, so at the 2-inch mark on our trimmer, can you see that? I put my paper, and I scored from the 0 down to the 1.5. Now I am moving my blade down, and I'm going to start at the 4-inch mark, and I'm going to score down to the bottom to the 5.5. Okay, and then you open this up and you move it all the way down to the 10 inches, because while you're in this mode is the time to do it. So take it back up to the top, and our paper's on the 10-inch mark over here. We're going to score from the 0 down to the 1.5 inch, just like that. And then we're going to bring the score blade down, place it at the 4-inch, and take it down to the 5.5 to the bottom of the paper. Okay, so we got 2 scores done. My score blade was dirty, but that's okay. Okay, so now we're going to go back and we're going to place it at the 4-inch mark on your trimmer. And what you're going to do then is you're going to score it all the way. And then you're going to move it down to the 8-inch mark, and you're going to score it all the way. And if nothing else, this should teach you to make sure your score blade is clean before you use it on white. I don't know what I used it on that got it so dirty, but it is dirty. You know, Stampin' Up! Now carries these, and man, they do get dirty. As I look at this, let me see if I can get that out and show you. Yeah, there is, I don't know if it's just paper built up on it or what. So I think I need to get me a new score blade, because this is really dirty up there. I can try washing it. can tell I don't take my score blade off often. It's full of dust too. Paper length. Okay, so we're all done scoring. We just scored at the 4 and 8 inches, a straight line down from top to bottom. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn it, and this is where I messed up on my first one. You wanna place it at the 1.5 mark. Don't be distracted when you do it. Make sure you get it at the right mark. And then you're gonna place your cutting blade at the 2-inch part on your blade. See, mine is right at the 2 inches. You can see that. And we're gonna take it all the way down to the 2-inch. 10-inch, excuse me. So we take it from the 2-inch down to the 10-inch. Then you're gonna turn it around to get the other side. Again, you're gonna place it at the 1.5 inch mark. You're gonna take it back up and you're gonna get it so it's at the 2-inch, and then you're gonna bring it all the way down to the 10-inch. And that's it for the scoring and cutting. We're all done with it. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna fold it. So what you wanna do is you wanna take this first fold that's on the 2-inch mark, and you wanna fold that one and that one. And that's your mountain fold for those two. Then you're gonna go to this piece right here, and you're gonna give this a mountain fold also. So we just did 3 mountains at the 2 inches and the center one on the 4-inch. And then for these on the 4-inch, the top and bottom ones, you're gonna give it your valley fold, just like that. Okay? Whoops, I didn't have that on the right spot. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then you're gonna come to the 8-inch mark, and you're gonna give the bottom and top one a mountain fold, and the center one is gonna go just the opposite so that it's a valley fold. Just like that. And then these two on the 10-inch line are gonna have valley folds too. Okay, and then I haven't used my bone folder yet. You fold this and it goes flat, just like that. So this is when I take my bone folder and I go over all the creases. So that's it right there. You need to get this one right here. Then I'm gonna turn it over and go like so. Just like that. And I know I got red glitter all over everything up here. And there you go. That's it for making your fold. Huh. For some reason, I have an extra fold in this paper. Oh. Okay. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's it, just like that. Okay. Oh, I see. When I burnished with my bone folder, it kind of creased the paper, right? Because what I had done is I had gone down here and did that. Maybe what I should have done was go like this. And for this side, do the same thing. Don't do it the way I just did it, because what it did, it made it look like I had scored in the middle of that at the 6-inch, and I did not do that. So just something to think about when you do that. Okay? And both sides are the same. Ends are the same. If I open this up, that's a mountain, and if I turn it over this way, it's a mountain. So you can start from either side you want to. it doesn't matter. Okay, so here we go. Next, what I did, now I've already glued some of my paper onto my cardstock, but I advise you not to do that ahead of time. I have a backup in case mine don't fit. Okay, I take just my cardstock pieces that I cut. You're gonna cut 3 cherry cobblers that are the same size and will go here. And you wanna lay them out because you wanna make sure, in case your scoring is off, you wanna make sure all your cardstock pieces are gonna fit fine without any problems. And on my sample here, I had to cut like one of these because I must have cut I either scored on a wrong line or else I cut my paper a hair too big and it just wasn't gonna look good with the way it fit. And I think that's mainly this centerpiece is where you're gonna see that problem because it's bunched in there, but I think that's gonna be okay. And I go ahead and I lay out all the rest of my cardstocks and make sure they're gonna fit in their squares. Now, if I have to trim any off, then I'm gonna work making sure that I do not move them because it will be specific for that square. See, and that's gonna fit there just fine. I'm gonna have this one go right here because I haven't glued them all on yet. That's fine. And you look to fit in there good. And you're gonna go right up here and you look to fit there good. Now here's a cardstock piece that I'm just gonna lay down. Yep, you fit good. And how about you? You do too. So, okay, I'm gonna leave them right where they are. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna finish my gluing of my Designer Series paper onto my cardstock. This is a pretty pattern on the back side of this. If you don't like the checkerboard paper, go on and, use the other side of the leafy paper because it's a pretty pattern too. I was torn, but I decided to teach this card for my December 9th class. And if you live in the Treasure Valley area of Idaho, I still have openings. I haven't advertised it yet with the cards. And we're also doing a New Year's card, but this is what I'm teaching at that class. There we go. And now we're gonna put this one on here, just like so. And our checkerboard. I like this Designer Series paper. I normally don't get extra Designer Series paper because I don't want a whole bunch. But I did get an extra pack of this paper because it works good also for some of the things I do for my craft sales. And that way I can work on the stuff over the summertime and hopefully not have to work as hard as I had to this year to get everything done. Okay, so now my next step is to go ahead and glue all of these in place. This is gonna take a minute. Yes, the person who doesn't like glue is using glue. That's because it's easiest and they're so small and that way you can slide them around and make sure they're straight. And I decided to use the checkerboards in the corner and the leafy pattern next to it. There were so many good patterns, it was hard to choose which one to put in which square. But as I think I said earlier, it's cold here. It was 21 this morning. I know it will get colder when winter comes, but this is still fall. Somebody forgot to tell the weather that. And it looks like, now my brother lives down in southern Idaho, and he's already had snow, but just a trace. I think on Thanksgiving Day is when they had it, and or the day before. And we're forecasted to have snow on Saturday, and I have a craft sale that Saturday too, so as long as it doesn't rain when it's either time to set up or break down. Because my husband still insists on helping me with that, and so I gotta let him do things. If you don't know, my husband has pancreatic cancer and is undergoing chemo, and it's an off week for him, so he'll be his strongest point of the month at that time. And I understand he wants something to do. I'm just so protective of him. But he does not help with the craft sales because he, when everybody's around, because he doesn't want to be that much around people. And I don't blame him. I don't want him getting anything else. We thought COVID was going to take him into summer, but he fought through. It was a hard fight, but he fought through that and is doing fine. And he looks much better than he did at the beginning of fall. So we just thank God for our blessings each and every day. Okay, there we go. And I can glue this one down, and then after we stamp the greeting, we'll put that on there. I left this blank on purpose for the greeting. But in case you don't know, I offer bonus points, I guess you would call them, rewards points. When you shop with me and you place a $50 order, you get 2 rewards points. And if you spend more than $50 in increments of $25, you get a bonus point. And once you get 10 bonus points, you get a $25 gift certificate to use on your next order with me. So that's fun. And I also have tutorials for sale in my tutorial store. Not many yet. I'm working on it. Unfortunately, I did not get one. My tutorials, you get them free when you place a $35 order. I did not make one for the November and December. I make one every other month right now. And so if you purchase from me during either of those months, you get your pick of the ones I do have in my store, of which one you would like in place of that. Now, there is a chance I may have one out in December, and if so, it would probably go through till the middle of January, and it will be with the Winter Meadow stamp set, because that one's being carried over into and it will still be available next year. I don't know if that's going to be in the annual catalog next year, because I always put a couple of them in there. Couple or 3, but it's a great stamp set, and it's a great wintertime card, like in January and February. Okay. Now, I could have probably done a better job on these, getting them a little bit higher, because I noticed they're kind of close. I didn't get them quite center on the square. And again, it's my depth perception when trying not to get my head into the camera. Hopefully I haven't gotten it in there too many times for you guys. But to get the rewards points, you do need to use the host code that you'll find on my website on the right-hand side, up near the top, but below the headers. And you find colored pictures of all the cards I post. And I usually put about 4 different pictures in the directions that you print out. This one will have more than that, a couple more than that, I believe. And we're almost done gluing these. Okay, and just this one. See how easy this is going together? I mean, this card base is so simple to make, and it just makes a really pretty card. Okay, and you know, I don't think I brought my dimensionals over either. Man, my head is just not attached. So let me just grab the pack of dimensionals out of my desk drawer. You know, I make all my cards sitting at my desk. I don't do it at this work table because it's usually covered and everything else. Sometimes I work here, but during this time of year when I've been busy for my craft sales, I still have 2 left. It's just covered with everything else. And the red glitter is off a ribbon that I used on some gift baskets, in case you're wondering why I got glitter all over the place. Okay, so that's these. So next what we're going to do, we're going to start on this card here. And this is the Melon Mambo and Granny Apple foil sheets. And these are still available. And I was going to use the Melon Mambo because I thought that would have looked good. My husband came in as I was laying them out, and he liked the shine of the Granny Apple Green better. So I listened to him. You know, if I give him lots of input, he doesn't care what I buy. So isn't that funny? So that's a good way to work it. Okay, now I know I brought my glue dots. Oh, here they are, right here. I know I brought them over. Okay, so what I'm doing is I am putting the glue dots on my letters. Now you could use adhesive sheets behind the square that is the size that you need for punching these out, die cutting these out. But these were some that I had die cut out before I thought of that. I die cut these out a couple months or so ago to use for another project, but I didn't like the way they looked on it. And it was after I had cut them out that I realized, oh, I should have used adhesive sheets underneath. So that's why these don't have adhesive sheets. But for my class, I'll be nice to those ladies. I will use an adhesive sheet when I cut these out for them. And I do cut these out for them because it's foil, and I have a new plate that I use on foil, and I don't dare put that out for my class, or else it won't look new anymore. I love the ladies, but I know. Okay. So now I'm going to put one at the bottom of the L and one at the top. So I started on this side, and then I put my N next to it, and I'm coming back, and I'm putting my L. Get it straight. Then I need to do my E. Huh. Where did that glue dot go? Huh. It went flying off someplace, apparently. Okay, let's try this one. And also, I am going to put one. See, this would have looked better with adhesive sheets down because then the edges of the E would have stuck better. And so I'm just going to take this, put it on that little small part sticking out. There we go. And oh, it spread out some. I need to put that back under. There we go. Those are pretty straight. Okay, and then I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to put some dimensionals on it. So I'm putting 3 of them on it. And I'm not going to put it too close to right at the bottom or top because I know it may hang over some. And it's okay if it hangs over because in the way it folds, it won't get caught in a fold. So I'm just gonna, I don't want it covering too much of my end. So let's see, just like that, okay? And then I'm gonna take this one. Now you can either use a piece of tear and tape or sail and just put it right here. But I'm just gonna grab me a couple glue dots. That's all you need. And the reason why you don't wanna glue this on unless you just also put the glue right in the middle is because your next thing is you are gonna take one of your dies, if you want to. And you don't want this on dimensionals because when it closes, you don't want that height in there. So you want it flat. It's better for milling. So what you're going to do next is you are going to take a die from the Joy of Noel stamp set, the pine bow one right here, and you're going to cut 2 of those out. And I've already done that. My videos are long enough without you watching me cut these out. And I just thought that they would look good put in here. Now, when you do it, remember that you have this side folding up, so you don't want the pine bows sticking over to there. Now, this one can go in right here without any problems. Now, I need to see about this side. Where can I put it? Okay, that one is going to kind of get caught on there. I can't have it go over this fold line or else it's going to get squished. So I can have it go just like that. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab me a glue dot. And I don't know if I can get this up. Okay. And I'm just going to put it right on top of the shaded spruce and stick that down on there, and that's in place. And I'm going to do the same thing for this other side, making sure it's not going to get caught in the cut line or in that score line over there. I can maybe pull it out a tiny bit further, just right there. And okay, now I'll tell you something. On this one, I used a piece of tear and tape on the middle, and I had trouble getting it in. So I had to actually cut this one. And as you see, it's still in that cut right there. But when you open it, it's fine. So I like using the glue dots better for putting that. It just goes like so. Okay, so next we need to stamp our greeting. So what we need is we need a pierced pad, and we are going to lay our cardstock on it. This is, I don't remember the dimension offhand. Let me see. That's 3, so that's 2.5. It is 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. I think dimensions will be. Cut sizes will be in the description. I'll make sure of that. And they'll also be on my blog under the card directions. And I know they're all right. Okay, this is Shaded Spruce ink. And I took one of the stamps from Christmas Classic, Tidings of Comfort and Joy. Any one of them is good. Season Greetings would even fit on here if you wanted to do that. You know, I'm not a person that, well, Season Greetings is okay. I like that better than Happy Holidays. But Happy Holidays covers over a multitude. Now I got green ink on my block, so I got to be very careful. So I'm just going to take this and stamp it. I did not stamp any pine bows or anything on this because I wanted to leave room for writing. I held that in place for 5 seconds so that you get the best image possible. Give the ink time to transfer from the photopolymer to the paper. That's why they recommend 5 seconds. And also you use the pad, so because with the photopolymer, you don't have any cushion in it like you do on the, let me see. No, these are photopolymer too. Like you do on the red rubber stamps, that they have cushion on them. So you don't need this for that, but you do need it for the photopolymer. Okay, now we are going to take our ink, put some glue on the back of this. And you know, I haven't gotten any glue on me yet. I should have waited till after glue this one. Don't you like this? This is my little glue holder. And it has, let me see, my husband just drilled a hole in a 2x4 and it holds my green glue perfectly. And that's what it was made for, was for the green glue. He had a drill bit that worked perfect. Okay, and members of my team have received that. And the ones that haven't will be getting one. So if you're watching it, you have one coming. Okay, there we go. Now we need some embellishments. So what I did here is I got a couple music notes out. And let's see. Did I leave enough room over here for one? So I can just drop one. I should have my take your pick for this. Okay, so I can just, I'll put one right there, and I'll put one over on the other side. And my take your pick is nowhere that I can see. Oh, it's right here, right here next to me. Okay. Oh well. Okay, so I think I'm gonna put. Whoops, that's a big drop for that little thing, and one right there. Okay, and I'm gonna see if I can get one that's going in the right direction. Okay, this one will. So, and that's too much glue. I'm just gonna try and get some of that off of there. You know, I guess it doesn't, no, I don't like that. Okay. I had gotten glue all over it. And I got it on my L. I may have to recut my L. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that there. I spoke too soon about not getting glue on anything. So I need to get a little bit of that glue off there. You want just a small drop of glue. Okay, and I want this one. And we're just gonna put, you can see where the glue smeared out of that one, but that's okay because it dries clear. Okay, and then I'm gonna get my red rhinestones. I'm gonna pick them up. I'm gonna put this one right down here like so. I'm gonna grab one of these and place it right up here like so. And where do I want this other one to go? What about, what do you think? Maybe I'll just put it right here like that. Okay, there we go. We are done. So let me get our envelope that we colored right there. And this is the card. Tidings of comfort and joy. And there's the other one. See how I said the granny apple green on the leaves would look better? It does. So there, I hope you like this card. I'm sorry the video was so long. I'm a slow color, and there's just, it actually took me longer to write the directions than what it did to make this card. So I really hope you like it. I hope you'll give it a try. And if you do, and you know, we'll work with so many different stamp sets and papers, and you know, post a picture on my Facebook page, Bonnie Lynn Linky, or you can always email it to me at BonnieStamps, Bonnie at BonnieStamps.com, and my website is BonnieStamps.com. Have a blessed week, and I will see you next week. Bye.